Welcome to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter, the show that takes a look at the events and what's happening all around Putnam County, as well as interviews with local, community, and business leaders. And now, sharing his insights and experience, here's Today in Putnam County with County Mayor Randy Porter.
Welcome to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. Thanks for joining us this week. Hope you're having a great week and hope 2025 has been good to you so far. Our program today is about the library system here in Putnam County, and we have a terrific one. And my guest this week is Kathryn Wisinger. She's the director of the library. And I got Miss Cindy Putnam, board member, foundation.
All kinds of fun things.
Just involved with the library. I know you love it. And we want to talk about our library system this week. And we got some great things happening at the library and some new additions and things we want to talk about. So thanks for being on the show this week.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having us.
I think we're really excited and glad to be here today.
Well,
yes.
I'm glad to have you. You guys are a big part of our community. And Cindy, I won't name all the stuff that you've done. The library's part of it. WCT, you've done a lot of stuff. And Kathryn, you've just done a great job taking over the director of the library and running with it. And I know it's a passion. People think, though, I think we get sometimes old library memories, you know, and going to the library. And that's before we had the internet or we had everything available to us at our fingertips on our cell phone and everything, and going and having our card and check out our books. The library still does all that.
We sure do.
But it's a lot more, though, isn't it? I mean,
yes.
You think about the library maybe kind of dropping, but y'all are really growing and booming. Tell us about that.
Yes, absolutely. And people ask me that a lot because of digital resources and how prevalent they are, why we even need libraries. And I feel like they're more important than ever because we serve really as a community hub for people to come and socialize and learn and grow. And there's very few places left that do that.
Yeah.
Of course, we have computers and technological help. You can get one-on-one tech help. We have a memory lab, which is really neat, where you can turn all of those 8 tracks and cassette tapes into a digital format.
Wow.
So turn analog into digital. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
And you can do it yourself. They
That's
will
really
show
amazing.
you how to do it.
It is.
But you can actually do it yourself. So it's very cost efficient for you to go up and do it yourself instead of hiring someone else to do it.
I posted one of the pictures of Blockbuster Video opening its grand opening back in the 90s this week. Right. And I was thinking back on the VHS tapes and the cassettes and the 8 tracks and all those things. So you actually are able at the library to allow folks to transfer that and make it into digital that they can keep then and keep the memories?
Correct. Yes, we sure do.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And like Cindy said, it's free. It's a completely free service. We'll teach you how to do it, and then you just get to transfer whatever you want.
Well, I got to dig out of the basement all the old cassettes. And
you know, the bad thing is those tapes really deteriorate over time. And so if there are precious ones that you have memories of when your daughter was younger or all those kinds of things, you really want to make sure that you're taking care of those. So you need to get them out of the basement.
You need to get them out of the basement.
That's
right.
Yeah. Cindy, you've been involved in so many things in our community. You've been a great asset and a leader in our community.
You.
How'd you get involved with the library?
Well, Kathryn and I actually still work for the Putnam County School System, and Kathryn was a Putnam County School System employee, and we think a lot alike. Kathryn is a very visionary person, so she had a great vision for the library. And when she came on board and asked me, would I continue to serve on the library board, I was delighted because I truly believe that our public library is a hub of our community.
Absolutely.
There are so many things that go on in the library, and like you said, we still think of library in the old days. You still need to be respectful and quiet when you're there, but when you go in, there are so many more resources and activities that are available. And one of the things that I absolutely love the most, of course, I'm an avid reader, but I love the Tennessee Room. I love genealogy. That is one of the most relaxing, peaceful places in the whole world. And you can go sit and get out all the books, and you can look things up, and you can look at the microfilm that they have and all those kinds of things. And the history. And I'm a real history buff about Putnam County anyway. So I absolutely love those things.
It's great. A lot of folks may not know, it's not just the Putnam County Library that's in Cookeville.
Correct.
You've got them in every one of the cities, right?
Yes, there are 4 libraries in our system. Allgood, Baxter, Monterey, and Cookeville are all represented. And we're really proud of that. We have a fantastic library system in this county.
And so some news, I think this came out the other day. We're adding a full-time librarian in Allgood.
That is correct.
And that's exciting.
I know. I am so excited about growing our system even more and getting just more representation in different parts of the county. County. Of course, the Cookeville Library is the largest, but we have great resources available in Monterey, Allgood, and Baxter. So Allgood, we just see more and more growth.
Yeah, and I don't know too many counties probably that has a library in each one of their little cities. I think that's something that's that Putnam is doing that maybe other places aren't, because we do a lot of things that other counties don't do, but the library system is really good in Putnam County.
And one of the things that I just have to go ahead and say that I love about the library, I love all of our libraries across Putnam County, but I love the Monterey Library because my granddaughter has got her first library card, and she got it at the Monterey Library, and she just recently attended one of their after-school events, and it was a cooking class learning how to make a pasta, and it was in partnership with one bank, and the nicest thing was she made this wonderful dish of pasta. Now, she's in pre-K, so you have to know that she did a really great job, and they practiced reading the recipe, and she was telling me about the measurements and how you have to be careful to cook things. So I think sometimes we forget that there's all kinds of ways that you can read with your child, and recipes and cookbooks, and then making the finished product is literacy and math all rolled into one.
Talking about our Putnam County Library system with Kathryn Wisinger and Miss Cindy Putnam, some good news that we got recently, getting a big grant to expand the library. Tell us about that.
I am so excited. The library has some much needed additions, and we got this grant with the help of Putnam County and the state of Tennessee. It's a Connected Community Facilities grant, and it really, the baseline is wireless internet, and providing help with enabling workforce development, continuing education opportunities, healthcare monitoring, and like telehealth. So we're very excited to expand our location and get in some of those facilities that can help people, connect them with those important things that they may not have
at home.
At home, yes.
Right, yeah.
Well, and a lot of people, when you think about it, a lot of people use their cell phone. That is their computer. And if you're filling out forms, if you're filling out documentation that is, very vital to your livelihood or to your life, you want to make sure you're doing it correctly. And it's really hard to do on that little cell phone. Isn't it? So I was amazed when I would go into the library at different times and see all the people around the computers, not necessarily just there for leisure viewing on the computer, but actually there because they're filling out forms, they're filling out an income tax, they're filling out an insurance paper, and they really, really needed to fill it out on a big screen and then have a printer that's accessible that they can print it out and have a hard copy for themselves.
Makes a huge difference. And Kath, I know we got woke up in 2020 when we figured out COVID hit, tornado hit. We had a lot of issues going on, and all of a sudden kids learning, some of it's online, and they're trying to, and of course you were a big part of this, and you be a teacher, but I had all kinds of parents that were calling me and saying, Randy, our DSL out at where we live out in the country doesn't work well, and I'm having to drive my children into the library or Burger King or somewhere to do their online work, or I'm having to do all this stuff now that I don't have the capabilities at home. It really got us, and again, I say woke up, because realizing that not everybody in their home, as you said, Cindy, has a computer and a printer or the knowledge or the internet service. Now, of course, we've worked on that with Twin Lakes with the new fiber project, so everybody at the end of this month is going to have the ability to have high-speed internet at every home, but they still need the knowledge and the capability with the technology that's at the library that we're looking at adding with this new addition to be able to do that. You're doing your doctor online now. I mean, medical.
Telehealth.
Yeah, telehealth. I mean, that's
a huge thing.
It's a huge thing.
Especially in a rural area, it's a huge thing for people to have automatic available access to quality health care.
Yes, and living in a region where that 5 of the 14 counties don't even have a hospital.
Right.
It's very important. Hey, we're talking about the Putnam County Library System today. I got 2 of my guests today is Kathryn Wisinger and Cindy Putnam. We're talking about all the great things happening at the library and the new addition. We're going to be talking about more that's going to be coming to the library. We've got to take a break, though. Stay with us.
And now back to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.
Welcome back to Today in Putnam County, our show this week about our Putnam County Library System. And I've got Kathryn Wisinger. She's the director of the library. And I got Miss Cindy Putnam. She's on the board and the foundation. Ladies, thanks for being on the show today. We were just talking in the first segment about the new addition that we're looking to get for the library. Got a grant from the state to add a new addition and a lot of technology. Well, let's go back into that, Kathryn, and some of the stuff that you're going to be able to add that you don't have the capability to do now.
Absolutely. So the grant, some of the terms of the grant talk about telehealth, health monitoring, continuing education, platforms. And so what we're going to do is create some space for that. So we do have internet, we have wireless that's available for free to the public right now. But with the grant, that's going to allow us to build some rooms and some more private spaces for people. We can soundproof the walls. We can have, the big monitors on the walls so that people can connect with a healthcare provider or a teacher, a professor, if they're doing continuing education in a more private, quieter space. So we're very excited about getting to do that. We'll also be able to expand our children's library in the children's area and create some more spaces for them as well. And that's been a huge thing that we've needed for a long time.
Yeah, the library. Let's just talk about a little bit of the history of the library.
Oh, I'd love to.
I was getting ready for this interview and looking back and didn't realize what we probably consider our first library back in 1923, Cindy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was. And it was started by a group of women the Book Lovers Club, who really felt like it was important to have a public library. So it was started in a woman's house in a corner on a little bookshelf. And I think, if I'm correct when I read the history of it, because that's the great thing about the library, the history of the library was at the library in the Tennessee room. So when I read all through that, they started it out with 10 books. And you could go there and you could check out one of those books. And I think it's amazing how much we've grown. And then we went from there to the Howard Hospital, of what I know as the Howard Hospital, the old Board of Education. Then we're in our brand new, and I remember I'm a native Cookvillian, so I remember when the library was being built, I thought that was the most modern building in the whole world.
And it
It was. We didn't have buildings like that in
No.
Cookeville. Nothing looked like that. And it was just so magnificent sitting there and then going in and all the books and all the different resources that we had in the 70s, and now fast forward to 2025 and look at the resources that we have now.
Hard to believe that the library we have now is 50 plus years old.
Yes,
I
it's
know.
very hard to believe.
Yes.
Because the building is amazing in its construction and its design. And I think CPAC may have kind of kicked off of that too, in the way they designed it. And you started seeing more,
More modern structures
looking,
than what we had before.
Oh, absolutely. And I remember, what was it, the Clara Cox
Yes,
Epperson
Library.
They had it, and that was a big deal back then. And to look where we've come to today, and now looking at this expansion, we were talking about earlier, telehealth is a big deal anymore. And you got your cell phone or your tablet or your computer, and you schedule an appointment with your doctor, and they're diagnosing you across video, and instead of having to go to a doctor's office or to a specialist somewhere, that's becoming a really big thing. I know in the county's health insurance plan with Blue Cross, they push that. There's not that many just regular private doctors anymore that to go to. What you think about your general doctor that we used to go to, the Dr. Francis's and Jones and Crabtree's and all those. There's not that many of those anymore, and sometimes it's hard to get in to that. But with this telehealth, it's available 24/7, and that's going to be a big deal with what you're going to be doing at the library and allowing that to happen and teaching folks how to use that, right?
Yes, and as Cindy said earlier, in rural areas, it's a real problem, access to health care, especially like you were saying, general care, primary care physicians. It's super difficult. And most people just go to, a fast pace or something, a convenient care clinic. And so this hopefully will help us be even more healthy community. And we also offer at the library already, we work with the health department here.
Yeah.
We have lots of resources and things for people. So I'm hoping that it can be just a big connection point for healthcare and health resources.
You have a lot of people that come in just to use the computers, right?
We do.
Writing resumes for jobs. Y'all help them do that?
Yes. We have a really robust system to help people with employment opportunities. We partner with the Tennessee Department of Human Services and also Goodwill Career Solutions. Both of those organizations are so helpful, but we do interviewing skills and job prep and resume writing and talk to people just how to navigate employment, Because when you think about it, like getting the job is kind of just the first step. And then it's like, okay, how do I keep it?
Yeah.
What do I do? And so we have classes and sessions and all kinds of things to support people who are job seekers.
Yeah.
Well, and also just the facilities in the library, the actual physical facilities. We have the community rooms, and you can check those out. And I know there have been so many times when working for the school system, we've needed to meet somewhere, and it was like every place that we can meet, somebody's already meeting there. So then we think about, we can go to the library. So you have that you can check it out, you can schedule it, and that's a really great asset to our community. But one of the things that was so eye-opening to me when I became on the Board of Trustees was how much all the new digital materials cost. It was unbelievable. When I look at those budgets, and Kathryn has done such a marvelous job explaining that to those of us who are not budget savvy, but when I look at that and just see what the base amount is for us to stay current, to supply what the people in the Upper Cumberland need, it's really expensive.
It's incredibly expensive.
And when you start talking about budgets, I mean, you're getting most of your revenue from the county and the cities, but you've got other avenues, Friends of the Library, the foundation, other things, grants, all kinds of things. But people probably don't have a clue. I mean, your budget's what? Million,
a little more, about 1.4.
Yeah, 1.4 million to run the library, but it's not just about the books, as we was talking about.
No.
Your digital stuff. I was looking at a lot of that on your website, and you got a great website. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
PClibrary.org if you want to check it out. But you got all kinds of ebooks and electronics and everything. Talk about that a little bit.
Yes, we have 2 different digital libraries. We have one that's a consortia through the state, Tennessee Reads. The app is called Libby, so most people know it through Libby.
Yeah.
And then we have another one called Hoopla. And both of those cost money. We buy books, but they are an incredible resource because, of course, people can get them like we were talking about on their phone. They can have access to books anytime, anywhere, and there's no late fees. The book just is.
You don't have to come pick them up. You don't have to bring them back. Yeah.
Access is easy.
Yeah, the only downside of it is when I'm talking to a friend and they said, I just finished this great book. And I said, can I borrow it? I listened to it on the library website. And I mean, through the library on Libby or that. And I'm like, okay, I will too then. So it really has changed the way. I mean, I still love to hold a book in my hand. I still very much love that. But it really has changed the way not only my generation views accessing written material, but the way that the younger generation views. Because I know that in the children's library and in our teen section and everything, they're very savvy, especially the teenagers, about books online and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And it's also very helpful, as we progress digitally, it's very helpful for people who have any kind of disability or handicap. So if you're blind, if you have, or any kind of vision issue, really, multiple different things that I won't even be able to list, but there's a way that you can access reading materials now, and it's amazing because we have, audiobooks, of course, and we have all kinds of different access points for people.
That's
digital.
amazing. The digital world that we live in is the library.
That's right.
You remember going to the library years ago and the book you were wanting was checked out?
Oh, yes, and then you'd put your name on a list and
you had
you'd
to
go
wait.
back and you would wait. Yes, I remember that very much.
Now you just check it out online.
I know.
That's great.
Well, and I think, too, we always have to remember that we do service rural areas, and there are still rural parts of Putnam County. So if they don't have the physical capabilities of coming to the library, they can still really be a part of all the services that the library has to offer because they can get that all digitally.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Talking about the Putnam County Library System with Kathryn Wisinger and Cindy Putnam. We'll take a break. Stay with us.
And now back to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.
Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. Our show this week is on the Putnam County Library System. And I've got Cindy Putnam. She's one of the board members there at the Putnam County Library. Got Kathryn Wisinger. She is the director of the library. We've been talking about all the great things happening at the library, getting a new addition through a big grant. Kathryn, lots of things happening. You have 2 groups, though, that help you with the library. And Cindy, I know you're involved in one of them, the foundation, the Library Foundation. Tell us about that and how that works.
Well, the Friends of the Library library is one of the groups, and that is separate from the foundation group. And one of the things that we know is we need a foundation to look at a long-term plan for the library. So when we're working on things that have to do with the foundation, we're not just looking at the immediate needs. We're looking at what the needs may be 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road. And as we said in one of the earlier segments, one of the great needs has been expansion, because even though it's very luscious and plush on the inside, we're still limited on space for so many events that we want to do, for so many different kinds of things that we want to provide without a charge to the residents of Putnam County, that we're just hindered by the space of it. So that's something that I know that's been on the foundation's heart for a real long time. The Friends of the Library look more at immediate things that they can do for the library, like maybe 6 months out or a year out.
They're great. Our Friends group helps us do all kinds of things, from painting and furniture for our storytime room for children to a lot of our Christmas decorations and things like that, including summer reading and programming.
So it's immediate needs versus long-term needs. Yes.
The Friends group, that you bring an author in, have dinner, and they use it as a fundraising, I guess, to help the library. And I know they've raised a lot of money over the years to help the library, which helps funds it, and that's great. You're doing something that we talked about during the break, helping students with student loans and student scholarships and all those kind of things. Can you talk about that?
Well, I'm going to say it's a little bit more helping parents, because even though the students are going to benefit from it, the parents actually have to provide the information. And I don't care what anyone says, filling out FAFSA for the federal student loan, that is one of the most difficult things in the entire world. Even if you have a college education and you have a computer at home and you can do it on, you still need guidance, because it's not just 1 or 2 pages.
It's difficult.
It's like, tell us your life story.
Yeah. And most parents don't have a clue, do they, Kathryn? About,
No.
I mean, I'm not saying they're not smart, okay? They are.
Right. It has
but they have made this thing so complicated that even the best are having issues with it. But you're there to help them, right?
Yes. So I also came from the school system. I was a teacher, and I used to try and help students muddle through it and help parents. And it was a huge need. They needed one-on-one help. And so at the library, I saw a great opportunity to offer some sessions where parents and students can come in and get some one-on-one help working through scholarships, FAFSA, any kind of loan that they may need help with for school.
And the nice thing about that is the parents can come in, and it really does open up that conversation where the kids can see firsthand how important this is. And in a rural area, we have so many parents who did not have the resources to be able to go to college. So their child may be the first person in their family who's going to college, and they really are at a disadvantage because they don't really know where to start. And there are funds available and wonderful scholarships. But like Kathryn said, if you don't know how to navigate the program to get to those things, it's very difficult.
Yep.
Why do they make it so complicated?
That's a great
Well,
question.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, it just seems like that getting kids to go to college should be something that we're all wanting them to do. And so we should be trying to uncomplicate that to make it as easy as possible for them to get those scholarships and loans. We got to work on that.
Yeah, and we don't want any parent to get discouraged and not follow through with it because they just feel like they can't do it.
Yeah.
So come in and let Kathryn and her staff help you.
Please.
As we say, we'll all muddle through it together and make sure that we're figuring out what's the best thing for your child.
Yeah, so if you got kids that are looking at going to college and they need help with these scholarships and grants and loans and everything, go by the library system and they can help you, Kathryn. Them. You got some other events coming up, Kathryn, in March. A dinosaur program?
Oh, my goodness. Our children's librarian, Carol Teeters, she is fabulous. And
Carol, she's amazing.
She is, and she loves dinosaurs. And so we've got man coming, and he's got dinosaur puppets, and he's going to do a whole show. So we hope everyone can come out for that. It's going to be great and something really different and unique.
Yeah. I heard a rumor that Bigfoot's going to be here or something.
Does he live in Dogwood Park?
I've heard that.
Nice.
I heard that you've kept him up a couple of times when he needed a warm place to stay.
Needed a warm place to stay. I think the great thing about the library, though, and the board that I'm so proud to serve on, is that we really want to serve all people in Putnam County.
Yeah.
So we go above and beyond to try to figure out how we can make access easy, what the hours are when the library is going to be open and closed, that the staff is is very well trained. They have professional development on things that they need that will help them better work with the people who are coming into the library. So it is a very well-oiled machine, but it takes a lot of human manpower, and it takes a lot of money to make it happen successfully.
Right. This caught my eye. 1,000 books before kindergarten.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. And we've already had 3 children complete it.
That's amazing.
It is.
Well, one of the things that we know as educators is the more a child is exposed to the oral languages, the more that you are talking to them and reading to them, the better it increases their oral vocabulary. And, we have kids, I'm sad to say, that come into the Putnam County school system that have never gotten to hold a book in their hand. I know that's very sad. And so just having a book in your hand with your child, showing them how to hold it, talking about the cover page, the author who illustrated it, going from page to page, letting them track along with their finger or your finger and their finger while you're reading to them. That is just the foundation for their entire school career. And 1,000 books before kindergarten is a free program that we offer, and anyone in the children's section can tell you about it. And it's just one of the greatest things that parents or grandparents or great-grandparents can do with their children.
I mean, how's that work out before kindergarten? I mean, you got to read so many a week or year or month. How's it work?
Well, it's really self-directed. So parents can come in and they pick up a log, like a reading log. And we do 100 at a time because that seemed like a good chunk to manage. Yeah. And they read with their child and they just keep track. And maybe you have this experience with children and grandchildren, but a lot of the times it's the same book over and over and over. We'll see Goodnight Moon, maybe 37 times.
The Hungry Caterpillar.
And that's fine. That's great.
As long as you read.
As long as you're reading.
I remember reading to my granddaughter, and of course she's 8 now. She's in 3rd grade, but when she was younger, and you read it, but she had it memorized.
Right. Yes.
And so she already knew what it was going to say, and she was, filling in the blanks before you got to that. So it's key for our children to start reading when young. And that's sad that we see kids that the parents are not reading with them. But we have so much going on in our society and world today with drugs and grandparents raising their grandkids and all kinds of stuff. And it's not like it.
It was. We also have a lot of single moms and dads that are working so hard.
2 and 3 jobs.
To keep a roof over the child's head and food on the table, that they just really don't have the energy and the time to do it. So that's the other great thing about the summer reading program, about all the events that are happening in the kids section of the library, because if a parent comes with them and stays with them, there is usually an adult there that is directing what is happening. Right. So that gives the parent a little bit of a break, but it might give them an opportunity to also be more engaged with their child because someone is providing all the resources for them to have that engagement with their child.
Absolutely.
And it's also, I think, a super wonderful thing for our local county and our community to know that it's all free.
All of it's free.
All of it. We do not charge.
Not too many places you're going to go today and get it free, anything free, are you?
No.
Grandma's house. If your grandmother's still living, Grandma give it to you for free. But past that,
that's about
not many.
Ladies, y'all do a great job, and I appreciate everything y'all do. And for our community, Cindy, your education background is just impeccable. And there's so many kids out there, and now they're growing up that love you and the great job you did.
I loved being a teacher, and I love working with what I'm doing now for the school system, really trying to break down barriers to help parents have an easier job with their kids in school.
That's great. Appreciate both of you.
Thank you.
Check out the library. They've got a great website, pclibrary.org, all kinds of digital and online stuff. You can go in. Each one of the cities has a library. We have one here in Cookville. It's about to get a big expansion, so we'll be looking towards that. Hey, that's our show for this week. I hope you join us every week for Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. May God continue to bless Putnam County.
You've been listening to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.